other methods, but this is the one I'm going to show you. We're just moving to the corner of the room. And in your home, especially in corners, so I'm just letting the smudge, I hope everybody can see that, so the smoke is still coming up, but into corners is where you need to go. And what I do is I simply go around the edge of the room. So the corners, along walls, this is where the energy, the negative energy can get caught. So you come to a press, a heavy press, just going to step back so you can see it, a press like this, that you're not going to be able to move or wanting to move. So you've got a few choices to make here. You can leave the smudge just sitting there and it will waft in, as you can see, or we use a feather. And I'm going to talk about feathers in a minute. So you would waft in, I hope you can see this okay, you would waft in the smoke from that sage burning into that corner, because we can't lift this dresser out of the way. And it will be the same to the back of the dresser. So again, I'm just going to go over that, bringing it, allowing it to waft in, or using the feather to waft it right into the corners. This can be done in your workspace, at home, anywhere that you need to cleanse it. Now remembering those that are pregnant or trying to get pregnant, you shouldn't be burning any sage around them at all. So that's about the sage. And before we move on to the Palo Santo, I want to talk a little bit about the feather. So this is a swan feather from the Claddagh here in Galway, well, Galway City. With the feather, you've got two ends. You've got one end which is a blade, and you've got the other end which is we use for the smudging. You need to be very careful when you're using this for smudging. You always use the bigger end. There's lots of different types of feathers and not so easy to see on some. So make sure you get a feather that you can see the difference. You'll see the piece here, the blade is on top, the smudging part's on bottom. So you're always wafting it towards, away from you. And if it's a thing that you need to smudge yourself and you don't use your hands, you can bring it towards you. Making sure you're using the larger part of the feather, because the other part we use for psychic surgery, so it cuts through energy, so you need to be careful when you're using it on others. So the larger side first, and when you're smudging. Palo Santo is one of the favourite ones that a lot of people that come to me, this is what it looks like unburnt. So it's a stick. It's also called Palo Santo, P-A-L-O-S-A-N-T-O, but I'll be sending you all this information. So it comes from South America, and it is a holy tree, is the other name for it, holy tree or holy stick. And in South America, when this grows, it attracts all the insects. And what the insects do is they start to kill off people's crops, the farmers' crops and that. So the farmers tend to knock this down an awful lot, in Peru especially. So it is harvested and cut down, especially for smudging. For the oil, I just spoke, Deirdre happened to be with me on Wednesday about the oil. It is so strong, they use it for so much. But Palo Santo is great for serious illnesses, for cleansing, for smudging, but also the oil itself, the pure oil you can apply onto the body as well. So the Palo Santo, same way. We always have our intent. So our intent is to clear this room, clear this space. And the Palo Santo, if you've never smelled it, is much lighter. It's a much, much easier one to take on the nose. A lot of people that don't like the sage because it's quite strong will happily go with the Palo Santo. So we've got, it's not as strong. You can see the ambers of it there. So why would I use Palo Santo over sage? One, if somebody's pregnant. Two, if somebody really doesn't like the smell of sage. It is very strong. It is beautiful. I love it, but not everybody does. So the Palo Santo, a lovely one if you've picked up a lot of energy from the people around you. Up with the arms, and sage under the arms. Under the feet as well, so lifting the feet up and under the feet. This is a lovely one for the bedroom, because not everybody likes the smell of sage in the bedroom. So I'm going to use the couch in the room here, my massage couch. So obviously the legs of your bed may or may not, depending on what you do in your bedroom, may not be this high. But you would just let, you can see, the sage just right under, or the Palo Santo, the smudge, the smoke to waft right under. Great, I can put my hand under this couch, it's great, but under your bed, just left it waft under. And I've had people who have come back to me, clients where their bedroom life had been a little bit stagnant, or just a lot of nightmares, or a lot of disturbed sleep. And I've given them the Palo Santo because their other half may think the sage is more hippie or is very strong smell in it, and it's very cleansing. The Palo Santo is a beautiful one to use for the bedroom. Cleansing out. If you find you're getting a lot of nightmares, using the Palo Santo is beautiful to get rid of that negative, heavy energy. So Palo Santo is holy stick is the other name of it. So far we've talked about the charcoal, the sage, the Palo Santo. Other things that you can use for the workspace, because I'm very aware of workspaces. 2 days a week I lecture and I train staff in a company that I could not burn these kind of things in. So what you can spray is Australian bushflower space clearing essence. It's a really, really good one. It smells like essential oils, so it's not as strong scented. But again, how you would use this is spritz it into the air. You can see the spritz coming out of it there. It's beautiful smell to it. And what you can do with that to the corners, if it's an office, if it's a shop or a school, again, try to spritz the corners. That's where negative and heavy energy sits. Is that if there's been a lot of arguing in the building, or a lot of illness with your colleagues, if somebody's out a lot and you're starting to feel that you're getting down with it, you need to cleanse and smudge that area. If you work in a school where the kids are always out sick, again, start to smudge the area. And something like the Australian bushflower space clearing essence is more normal to smell for most people than the sage and the Palo Santo. Again, I always say one of my favorites, but one of my favorites is the Florida water. Now, the Florida water can be very hard to get at times, but I find this absolutely brilliant. You'll see it at holistic fairs. I sell it as well, but again, this is not about selling. This is about giving you the information you need. What I do with this is I get a little squirty bottle, so a travel size squirty bottle in your local pound shop or supermarket. And what I do is I fill it with the Palo Santo or the Florida water. Florida water comes, it's Peruvian water. The shamans use this for very heavy negative entity or dark energy. And when I say dark or negative entity or heavy energy, I'm just talking about those really bad headaches, that tummy that won't go away, that you're always feeling bad, that backache that you feel a lot of the time. Is it a physical thing? Yes, I'm a very logical person, so it could be simply a physical thing, but it also can be an energy. Is there an energy attached to that area of the body? Have you picked it up from somebody else? If it's the lower back around the kidneys, are you fearful of something? So with the Florida water, again, spritzing it in the air, go to the corners of the room and along the walls, under the bed or the office desk, or if you're in a shop area, the heavier areas. But one thing I love to do with any of the spritzes is spray it in the air and walk straight into it. But where do we get caught? We get caught here, just between the shoulder blades. So spritz it behind you and walk back into it. And that's where you'll get the cleansing and smudging from the Florida water. Again, it's a beautiful scent. It's like an aftershave scent or a perfumey scent. So again, more normal, more simple, very good for the workspace, very good for where a lot of the general public come in and out of, and we feel like you have a vampire energy. When I say vampire energy, that you're drained when that person walks away. So that's the Florida water. We can also get Palo Santo in a spray now, and again you'd use it in exactly the same way. It's a lighter, gentler spray and smudging rather than the Florida water getting in there down and gritty. So we're coming up to the last 10 minutes, and I really want to go to the other ones that are not smudges of smoke or sprays. It's the simple clicking the fingers, clapping the hands. So when you find the energy heavy, or you need to smudge an area and you can't take out your Palo Santo or your sage stick, what you need to do, clap the hands, click the fingers, whatever way, or stamp the feet. It changes the energy. The other ways are simple things like rattles. This is a little one. it clears the energy. That's why we use it when we use it in therapy or when we use it in a workshop space. It's to cleanse and to clear the energy. It is a vibration going right across. A bigger one. That's so simple to drop into your bag and use anywhere. A baby's rattle is another great one. That's why the baby will always hold it up near its ear, because a lot of stuff is going around their head especially. The singing bowl. Simple as that. Absolutely beautiful. Clears the air, clears the energy. You could walk just around your house doing that. And you've got many other ones, and I have many other ones here on the table, but I just want to keep it simple for you. When you smudge your home, you go around. It doesn't matter what room you start in, just go to the corner, walk all the way around each wall, let that smoke waft up, and it will go down as well. If you come to big dressers, beds, or a kitchen unit, just allow the smoke to waft behind it. It clears the energy that's caught behind it. Do every room and do your stairs and bedrooms and bathrooms, and at the same time open up the windows, because what you're doing is you're allowing out what you've just cleared, what has been caught up. And it can be just cross words, it can be heavy energy, it can be a spirit caught in the house that just needs cleansing or clearing, or maybe the house needs to be healed, but that's again a different night. But this is all about just cleansing the energy, that you feel lighter, you can sleep better, you don't have headaches, your head isn't as full. And this time of year we spend more time indoors than we do outdoors, so we need to open up those windows when we're smudging, let out the energy, close them and put on the heating and be all nice and cozy. But keep the positive thoughts in there. When you feel you're going into a negative stance or your mind is going negative, do a little smudge and cleanse of the thoughts as well as of your body. So before we go into the question and answer, and again, if you don't want to speak your question, you can simply type it in and I'll read it out, and hopefully I'll be able to answer it. This is just a mini workshop. I could talk about this for hours. As you can tell, I did have a slideshow. I closed it down because it was distracting me. So it's just to remember, you clean your house before visitors come. So clean it before spirit comes, or before you want angels or ancestors to come as well. I'm now going to just turn off the recording, so I do apologize to those people that are watching on recording.